Good afternoon, and welcome on this Thursday afternoon to my nice messy craft room. And we're going to do a little bit of crafting this afternoon. So I'm going to take a bit of time out from some of the other jobs I'm trying to get done and just do a bit of crafting with you, which sounds like good fun. So if you are here with me live, do pop on and say hello. Let me know where you're coming to me from. Does that make sense? I think so. My name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the UK. Let me just add this in. This is my website, www. Not that you need www anymore, but loveaduckie.co.uk. That is my website, and there you'll find my blog inspiration. You can sign up to my newsletter. You can find downloadable classes, retired stock, upcoming classes. You'll find it all over there at loveaduckie.co.uk. So do head over there and have a quick look at all of that. In terms of upcoming classes, what have we got coming up? Tomorrow we have a technique class. Where we're going to be using some of the different hybrid embossing folders that we have got in our product list currently. There's some lovely ones, so we're going to be having a play with those, and in fact we're going to have a play with a bit of a hybrid embossing folder this afternoon as well. The monthly card club for March is going to be using the gorgeous, bright, zingy Friends of the Ocean suite, a beautiful suite, lots of really bright colours, and crabs and seaweed and all sorts of lovely things in that suite. But rather than the standard blues and greens you normally get with sea themed suites, these ones are pinks and oranges. Yeah, just really lovely. So that's going to be our monthly card club. This weekend we have got Stamp Camp. All of the kits are cut. Everything is ready to go for Stamp Camp this weekend. So that's always great fun. So that's 13 demonstrators from around the world getting together to do one big event over the course of this next weekend, where you get lots and lots of inspiration, this time using the Floral Delight Suite. And in fact, we're going to be using the Delightful Wishes stamps and dies and some of the papers from that suite this afternoon as well, all being well. Other things we've got coming up, the stamper stack for the end of February. So next week, we're going to be using the For the Books bundle. So a good one for all the bookworms out there, or if you have lots of bookworms in your family. And then right at the beginning of March, the Saturday Stampers, 10 till 3. And we're going to be creating birthday cards for all ages and all styles. So that's going to be a good, fun class. Where are we? We are the 20th of February, so only just over a week left of celebration to go. But that doesn't mean that you're too late to shop and earn new freebies, or to host a rapid event, or put in a big order and earn extra freebies, or indeed join the Stamping Up family. And we'd love to have you come and join the family. And there are fabulous offers to be had this celebration. So you pay your 99p, that would be an offer, wouldn't it? Your £99 for your starter kit. And then you can choose, you always get, whatever time of year it is, you get to choose £130 worth of things for your £99. But during celebration, you have two choices. You can either choose to put another £30 worth of freebies in there and have £160 worth of goodies for your £99, or you can choose to pick two of the stamping marker collections. So you get 10 pens in each of those collections. You can choose two. In fact, I've got one set here ready to go out to a customer. So these are the sets of stamping white markers. You get 10 beautiful double-ended water-based markers in your set. But for celebration, you pay £99. You choose £130 worth of goodies of your choice. You get to choose two of these packs. So whether you want the subtles, the sort of these pastel colours, whether you want the brights, whether you want the regals, or whether you want the neutrals, you choose which two you would like, and you also get an additional stamp set along with those as well. So a fabulous starter kit offer. And as I always say, there are no expectations, only opportunities when you join the Stamping Up family. So you're always going to get your discount on your orders. You're going to get to be part of the bigger, wider Stamping Up family of demonstrators. And yeah, what you choose to do with that is entirely up to you. But that is a fabulous offer. You may choose to do nothing with it apart from buy yourself a few bits, and that is absolutely fine. So don't miss out in this final week of celebration. Do chat to me. We can put in a call, put in a Zoom call, a phone call, email conversation, whatever works best for you. If you are interested in knowing more, do reach out. Right, I think that's the news. That's all the news flashes for today. Let's bring in my downward facing camera, and on my desk I have got a printed off challenge. This is a sketch for a challenge blog that's coming up at the beginning of next week with the Crafty Collaborations community. So I thought we would take this sketch and we would use it to create some cards. And I've grabbed a couple of different things. One is the Delightful Wishes stamp set and dies, and I have the papers and things down here by my feet as well. So that's part of the Floral Delight suite. And the other thing I've got is the Happy Hibiscus. So we've got a stamp set, we've got dies, and we've got the 3D embossing folder. And these dies and this folder combine to make a hybrid embossing folder, and they are good fun. So we'll be using some of these for our challenge card as well. So let's have a think. What colours shall we go for? I think some pretty pinks might be quite nice. Might go Petunia Pop. Got lots of things down by my feet. I fear that there may be a crash in it as I move some things out of the way to reach some others. Let me get a piece of pretty Petunia cardstock. Let's have black. That's quite nice contrast, isn't it? That petunia and that black popping against each other. And just grab, there's one card base. That's a 10 fold card base. And let's grab ourselves a book fold card base. So let us have a little look at this sketch. So I'm looking at this sketch and I see, if we follow it almost exactly as it is, we're going to have a card base that's going to be representing this sort of neutrally biscuity colour, basic beige almost in the background there. And then we have a mat on the top, and then we have this banner piece coming across here with these, it's got three little rectangles on it. Now they could be any shapes at all coming across there. We could put actual rectangles in there, or we could just use them to represent some three things coming across there. And then we have our banner coming across the bottom. So I'm going to use basic white card base. I'm going to cut myself a piece of Petunia Pop. I'm going to make this 14.4 by 10, which is a first size mat. So if you were in Imperial, that would be 5 1/4 by 4 inches. we'll have that sitting on here. Then I think we'll take a piece of black coming across there. I'm actually tempted. I think I'm going to take this down. I'm not going to take it down 1/2 centimetre. I'm going to take it down sort of 1/4-ish of a centimetre, which would be 1/8 of an inch. Out there. Ooh, come on, out the way, you. And then I'm going to take a piece of black and we'll make this 10, 5, 14, 4. So this one is just over 14.1 and just over 9.7. Just a bit of a slither. Smidge. I think a smither is a combination between a smidge and a slither. Trim that corner, I've got a little bit bent. I'm going to emboss that actually, so it will help with that a little bit. So I'm going to sit that so that there is just a little bit of black popping out, just to help that pop off of that white. So we're going to emboss this, but now we want a strip of black coming across the middle. And I think I'm going to go yeah, I think I'm going to go 5 centimetres, which is about 1/3 of the length of that card. So we've got a bit at the top and a bit at the bottom. Let's trim this to 10 centimetres or 4 inches. So we made that 5 centimetres, so that would be 2 inches, but you might want it, if you're doing an imperial size, you might want it slightly smaller than that because your card base isn't as deep. So it might be that that might feel a bit wide. It might need to be a slither off of that if you're using imperial measurements. So we'll have that coming across there. And then we want, so this is 10 centimetres. Am I physically going to put, I think I am physically going to put some rectangles in there. So this is 5. I'm going to make them 4.5 centimetres deep. And width-wise, I think I'm going to go, yeah, let's go 3 centimetres. Cut that at 9, 6. If I put that against 3, that'll cut 2. Right, let's have a look how that is looking. Trial and error, as always. Yep, I think that's about right. Okay, looks like a film strip, doesn't it? Obviously, that's a little bit wonky because they're not stuck down yet. Now, let us bring out our Happy Hibiscus Hybrid embossing folder. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use this embossing folder and I'm going to emboss this piece of Pretty Petunia with the embossing folder. So standard embossing folder type stuff. Just going to pop our piece of card in there, decide where we want it. This is a sort of 6x6 sort of ish, 6x6 embossing folder. So obviously that piece of card is not going to take up the whole width of that embossing folder. So I'm going to decide whereabouts we want it to go in that pattern. And I'm going to bring out my base mat and my number 4 embossing plate. Let's rub that sandwich. Let's bring out Stampin' Cut and Emboss. Open it up. Click, click. And we'll run that through. So obviously this needs to be the bigger machine. This is not going to go through the smaller machine. Plonk, plonk. Need those again in a minute. I'll just pop them down there for now. So now we have a beautiful Junior Pop embossed background. Really beautiful, that embossing folder. Pop there, and then I'm going to take this white card. I'm going to take the stamp set that goes with this. So you have got these 3 outline flowers on here, and this is one stamp, so that is one big stamp just there. And then you've got these 1, 2, 3 flowers that are your, you can either use standalone, but they're also your infill pieces for this these flowers if you so require. You've then got some leaves, you've got an outline and an inner, and then a smaller leaf, an outline and an inner. You've got like this cross hatchy type pattern, and then you make me smile, congratulations, thank you for being so kind. So a few greetings on there as well. And then we have a set of dies. So we have this set of dies here which will cut out those 3 flowers. So the 3 flowers that stamp together will also cut out together. You have some smaller flowers here, 1, 2, 3, 4 of those, 2 of these sort of medium sized, 2 of the small. You have 1 each of the leaves to cut out your stamped leaves, but then you have a detailed leaf here and another detailed leaf here, a banner piece just here, and a circle. So a few different elements in there. So let me bring in Memento ink. And I'm going to take out the 3 flowers that are joined together. Now, where has my block gone? Where, oh where have you gone? You were here earlier. There you are. I was going to say, I've not long been using the block, so I know it's not far away. I'm going to lay those flowers down and I'm going to pick it up with this block just here. And I'm going to ink it up with this Memento ink. So we're going to give it a black outline. It could be a grey outline, it could be a darker pink outline, but because we've got that flash of black in the card base anyway, I think we'll go for black outlines on our flowers. Let's give that a bit of a press down. There we have our 3 flowers. When we come to die cutting them, they will cut them out as 3 separate flowers, so they won't cut them out altogether. They will be cut out as 3 separate ones. Now we've got the individual stamps now that are going to give us some infill colour. So let's find ourselves smaller blocks. Let's have this one first, and we'll go for the Petunia Pop ink. Now, mm, I'm thinking the big flower in the centre, I'm going to ink up this stamp with my petunia pop, and I'm going to stamp it on as it is. Now I'm sort of wiggling that so that we're lined up. I'm going to stamp that on there. Beautiful. Right, let's take the next size down. I think we're going to want this slightly bigger block. Let's ink this one up. Now this time I'm going to stamp it off before stamping it on here. Ah, that way. That's going to be slightly paler colour, second generation. Beautiful. And then we'll take the smaller flower and we'll do the same again. We'll stamp that one off before filling in this flower with some colour. So we've got one darker one, two paler pinks, but all created using the same petunia pop ink pad. Now, do we want some dies and some leaves? I might actually go for some die cut leaves. Cut this down so it's slightly smaller, then I'll be able to get it through the smaller machine. Ooh, or do I want to get it through the smaller machine? Going to line that up. Now I have two options at this point. I could just cut these flowers out, or I could bring in my embossing folder, take my die, line it up with those flowers just there, and then wiggle these around and line these up. So that they are sitting in there as well. And then what I'll do is I can run this through my machine, and what it will do, it will both cut out those flowers, but at the same time that it cuts them, it will also emboss them. And this is the thing about the hybrid embossing folders, is that the dies are designed to sort of nestle in to the embossed part of the embossing folder, so that rather than having to do this in two steps, you can of course do it in two steps if you prefer, but you don't need to. You can just run your embossing folder using the same sandwich as we did before. I've just moved that. I've got it beautifully, and I tried to fiddle and I moved it so the die sort of snuggles in. Line up your stamped image, so it's where you want it to be. Same sandwich, just your base plate, and then that number 4 dark grey embossing plate to go on the top. Run that through. And then we have flowers that are not only cut, but are also embossed. And if I flip that round, you'll see more on camera where that has got shape. It's sort of slightly domed. You've got the embossed feel to it. You sort of feel it perhaps more than you can see it. So we've got the one dark one, then the two slightly paler ones we can have on our front piece just there. Get rid of that order scrap. Back in my basket for a moment. Right, leaves. What colour to go for? I might go. Oh, I'm running my paper over here. I might take some soft sea foam, so just a really pale green. Let's bring in my little machine. That little piece of soft sea foam in there. And I think I'll cut 3 leaves. Oh, come here. It's well and truly attached. Oh, wrong one. That one's got the embossing end on rather than the pokey end. There's one leaf. Hi, Jackie. We're having a play with some hibiscus to make a challenge card. And this little leaf is sticking to my mat, or sticking into my mat. You do find sometimes that the dies do cut in to your mats, but that's okay. The mats themselves are designed to be replaced from time to time. They're not supposed to last a lifetime. So things do get cut into them. They get a bit battered, they get a bit bent. That's all okay. Come, little leaf. And because that leaf is so detailed, it does stick a little bit. I've just put that away and I may well want it again in a minute, because I'm thinking that on the original challenge card it had a challenge card. I thought you meant the hibiscus. I thought, Jackie, I can't believe you don't like the hibiscus challenges. I know you don't like a challenge, so I'm doing it so you don't have to. So this particular challenge has got this sort of banner end piece just here, but I'm thinking I might use this die just here, because the thing with challenges is they are only ever intended to be a starting point for your inspiration. You shouldn't have to feel as if you have got to absolutely follow them to the letter. Just use them as a starting point. Let's bring in our junior pop again. Oh, let's have a "You Make Me Smile." And we'll take this piece just here. Might not have made that quite central, but I think we'll live with it. I think it will be okay. It'll all be okay. Stand myself up and couple of bits of tape on there. Bring my little machine back in. And then let's run that through. It's one of those sentiments that I'm not entirely sure that you've got it straight, because it's not just one long line, it's sort of got a double row of words this end and just one word the other. Let's have a look. Let's pop that out of there. I think that looks fine. So that's quite a nice little banner piece. You've got the sort of detail on either end. So let's, you know that moment when you think you've got more tea left in your cup and you haven't? It's just happened to me. I thought, oh, I'm sure there's a mouthful of tea left in there. No, I've drunk it all. Right, so let's add our petunia pop embossed background. Sirens galore going off outside. Really pretty, that embossing folder. And a real deep emboss as well. So it is a 3D embossing. All the hybrid embossing folders are 3D embossing, because you need that depth in order to create the space for the die to snuggle in. And then we'll add that to our little bit of black. So it's just that really thin, narrow border of black, but just enough to make it pop from the white background. Let's bring in our black layer to come across the centre. We'll go up a little bit like that. Then we'll take our 3 pieces of white to come across the middle. Now I'm going to almost lay them on without pushing them down origin to start with, just so that we can go in and wiggle them a bit if they're not quite in the right place. Yeah, I think we need them to come across this way a little bit. Across this way a little bit. That one in the centre. How's that? That looks about right. I'm going to take this You Make Me Smile, and I'm going to add that across the bottom with some dimensionals. Ooh, and still the sirens go on. I suspect there will be news of an accident or something on the busy road. Where I live, I'm not very far from the fire station and the ambulance station, so I do quite often get sirens buzzing about. I'm going to put that there. And I'm going to take this large flower and I'm going to add that to this centerpiece. Pop that up on dimensionals. So of course with these hibiscus you've got the stamps that you can colour, add the colour to, like we have here. You could sort of die cut and emboss them and add some colour with some watercolour. Do it on watercolour paper and then add, it's quite pretty, might need to snuggle in a bit more like that. Perhaps we'll have a leaf coming out here, and out like that. I think so. That's looking good, isn't it? Right, let's add a bit of multi-purpose adhesive under there, and a bit on this leaf. Oh, you little tinker. There we go. One. This little flower here. And then this leaf. It's coming down here over onto this sentiment, but not obscuring the words. How's that? So we've got our 3 panels, got our 3 flowers, we've even got 3 leaves, and we've got this sentiment banner in there. What embellishments we could add? As if we need something black. Let's go with the adhesive back sparkle gems. Let's have one here and one here, and we'll pop one up there in a sort of triangular fashion. Just throwing white twine onto the floor. Just wondering if I want a bit of a bow underneath this banner piece. As you can tell, as always, we're doing this on the hoof. No such thing as having prepared one earlier. I quite like that, I think. Let's cut that off. Let's grab some blue dots. Oh dear, is the hibiscus bundle in your folder, in your basket now? It is very pretty. It's only consolation, I haven't had it very long. It's only been, well, a matter of days, really. But it is very pretty, and the extra dimension you get from it being a hybrid embossing folder and the embossed elements on that flower is just really lovely, and I've seen some lovely things done with it. So you make me smile. Yes, hibiscus, you make us smile. We love you. But a great card to send to somebody else that makes you smile. Let's have a look at this challenge, and let's do another challenge card, but let's change it up a bit. My thinking is that I'm going to do that because you can do that with challenges. Simply swap it around. And down here I have got some of the papers from the Floral Delight. What shall we go with? The love, the yellow gingham. That's rather fun, isn't it? So I think I might do the same again. I might take a piece of black and just give us a narrow black border, which is what we did before. So we started off with the black at 14.4 by 10. So let's cut this at 10. 14.4. Go. I've got a card base, so this is actually a tent fold card base that I've turned this way. If I've got cards this way, I quite like to use the card that way because it sits nice and solidly on the on your mantelpiece or your wherever. Right, this one I'm going to take, and I'm just going to take it down a bit. So I'm not going to make it 9.5. I'm going to sort of make it about 9 3/4. And the same with the other way. I'm going to make it sort of 14.1 and a little bit. We've got that nice yellow gingham that we're going to sit on that black. That we're then going to sit on our white card base. I think it looks a little bit like I need a new blade in my trimmer, or I need to sort it out. So this is a sand eraser that I've got here that I'm just running across there to take off that fluffiness, and likewise on there. And we're just going to have that that's going to sit on there, and it's just going to give it that little pop of black. I thought I've got something on my paper. I haven't got anything on my paper. I've got something on my screen. So let's just ignore that for a moment. So we have that's going there, that's going there. This time I think I'm going to take a bit of Daffodil Delight card. What scrappy bits I've got. Daffodil Delight. And everything but. Let's take that. And let's again cut a bit that's 5 by to go the 9 3/4 that we did the paper this time. 5. And then this time let's take some black and let's go 4.5 by 9, which is what we did last time. And then we cut 3-centimetre rectangles. And we've got 3 bits that are 3 by 4.5 centimetres. When I get round to writing the blog post up for this, I will make sure that I've got some imperial equivalents. And they're going to come down here. Nice. Right, I'm going to take the arrows just here. Let's have a look. What have we got? No, whether these. Let's to take this paper, actually. Where are my other scissors? I want to use my ribbon scissors. Let's use these scissors. I'm going to go right. Let's have a little look. Just going to cut round. This flower and its leaves. It may be that we need to trim some of the leaves off in due course, but so we could have been stamping and die cutting some of these flowers, but actually the paper's just so pretty. Why not use what we've been given there? And then we've got that sort of variation in colours between the Daffodil Delight fading down to almost lemon lolly with hints of pumpkin pie in there. Lovely sort of spring colours in these papers. These aren't necessarily traditionally spring flowers. We've got some sort of like chrysanthemum looking ones there. But the set itself has got really nice forsythia images in, which is very much spring-like. But lovely colours, taking us away from sort of gloomy wintry days. Been a bit wet today, every now and then we keep getting a rain shower, getting a little bit of sunshine in between time, but and certainly feeling a little bit warmer than it has been. But we're not quite bikini weather yet. Not sure that it ever gets to bikini weather for me, but should we have that one coming that way? Where's the other little one we were going to have? Just here. There we go. Now this particular suite has got these, it's got the stamp set, it's got the dies, got these beautiful papers. It also has a pack of vellum papers in it as well, which are really rather lovely. Let's have a look at those. See what our options are in the vellum papers. So we've got this, the blues with like the forsythia print on it. Got this blue gingham, and then we've got this more of a clear vellum with these pretty florals on. I might take that actually. To cut a strip rather than introduce blues. I'm just going to cut a strip of this. Let's make it going to go 3 centimetres wide, I think. And I'm going to cut it so it is 10 centimetres long, which is the same length as that. I'm not actually going to use the full length of it, so it's coming down here. I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold at the top, because vellum is one of those things that it's notoriously difficult to work out how to attach it. So I'm going to put a bit of vellum on that, and I'll fold it over the top, and I'm going to hook it over the top of now. I'm wondering whether to leave it just floral like that, or whether I'm going to add a little bit of white underneath it so that it pops. I think I might do that. I'm going to cut this to 10 by 2.5 as well, and then we will trim it off. But let's cut it to start with 10 by 2.5, so that's about 1 inch wide. Let's slip that in so it goes up to that fold, and then let's snip that bottom piece so it matches that bottom banner on there, and that will just sit underneath there and help that to pop a little bit. Right, now the other thing we're going to want is we are going to want some sort of a sentiment or a greeting on there. That's the happy hibiscus. What have we got on here? This is the one that we've got the big wishing die and the wishing stamp, so that we could sort of cut out a wishing. But I think I'm just going to take the "You a Happy Birthday" . Little panic just there, thinking, where's my other stamp gone? But it is there. I'm going to take the "Wishing You a Happy Birthday". Let's bring in, oh, lay that down and pick that up. I think that wiggled a little bit. Let's try and straighten that up a little bit. That's it. I'm going to take some, I could take tape, I could take post-it note. I had a thing of tape here somewhere. Here it is. I'm going to cover up UA so that we've just got happy birthday showing. Let's tuck that in to make sure we've got the whole of the happy birthday piece showing. And take this little bit of yellow. Always remember to remove your tape if you're doing masking like this before you stamp, because that tape will have ink on it. So if you then go and press it down with the inky tape, then you will get a partial Am I going to cut that with a die? No, I think I'm going to just cut it. I'm going to leave it quite long for now until I decide where we want that. Right, let us stick this together. We have got some, the other thing that is in this suite is some of this Daffodil Delight ribbon, so we might well use that somewhere along the line. Okay, let's start by not losing any of our pieces. Sticking our DSP mat to our basic black mat, positioning it so we just get a pop of black coming out underneath. Then we will stick that to our card base. To take my vellum, I'm going to put some glue on the back of here. Shouldn't have stuck that down, should I? Don't do as I do, do as I say. Stick your vellum over the top of there. Fix that across a bit. First, then we'll take the white. I'm going to stick this down directly onto the card underneath there. Okay, and we'll take our piece of Daffodil Delight. I'm going to have that overlapping just slightly because then that will hold that vellum down. Then let's come in with our black rectangles. Again, don't stick them down too hard initially so that we've got time to wiggle them if we need to. There we go. Right, and then we're going to decide how our flowers are going to go. Excuse me. Have that one like that. One on the top. Shall we have that one? Yes, I think like that. We'll have them coming down in sort of size, ascending size as opposed to descending size. Oh, I've got a ruby dog behind me having a little bit of a whimper. Last but not least, Quite liking that. I think I'm going to add some Tombow to that, and let's have it coming all the way across. So again, it's helping to hold down that vellum. Oh dear, Ruby Dooby. I'll have a little bit of this ribbon. It does make lovely little tiny bows, and obviously you can make bigger bows if you so wish, but it does make lovely bows. Let's add then this is the sweet that has little bees. So we have a little bee up in the top there. And we could attach this with a glue dot. I'm adding in a dot of glue, spot of glue rather than a dot of glue. So we could go for more than one little bee, but that seems to be a little extravagant. So let's find something gold, brassy coloured that will. We'll go with the piece of backed metallic gems. And let's just take a couple of these small ones. So as always, you have embellishments in 1s, 3s, 5s. Let's have a couple. One there. And have one down in this corner. So a couple of those to match sort of colour-wise-ish. So we have taken, let's find out other card. Put the lid on our little bees before they fly away. So we've taken our one challenge, which was this. And for one of them, we've taken the hybrid embossing folder and the stamps from the hibiscus set. The happy hibiscus. Couldn't think what sort of hibiscus it was, but it's a happy hibiscus. And then this is from the papers from the Floral Delight Suite with the Floral Delight Wishes stamps and dies. But for this one, we turned to the challenge round, so it's that way. So that's that one. And that's that one. So two cards, two floral cards, both using that same sketch. So I hope you have enjoyed those. Thank you, Margaret. It's not my sketch, I'm afraid. I didn't make it up, but it is a challenge that I'm taking part. I'm doing a blog post for that will go live on Monday, so do look out for that. And as I say, I've used metric measurements there. I will make sure that there are some imperial equivalents on that blog post. So let's come up here and say, yeah, Thank you for spending a little bit of time with me this afternoon. Have a lovely rest of the week. I hope the sun shines for you this weekend. If you're coming along to the stamp camp at the weekend, then can't wait to catch up with you then, to make all of these gorgeous projects that we're going to be making over the weekend. But if not, hopefully I will see you next week. So take care, everybody, and don't hesitate to reach out if I can be any help anywhere. So bye bye for now.